Anyway, over to that side there. You, sir.
So you just mentioned like riffing. Are you going to do like more Linkara riffs?
Yes. In fact, I know that I have at least one more riff in the queue from a Patreon sponsor who wanted me to riff on a short about bananas, if I recall correctly. So I will, I think it's like What About Bananas is what it's called or something like that. And so I'll be definitely be doing that once I finish up the movie, which this month.
Promise.
Promise. I've told the other people who I'm still waiting stuff on for hard deadline, November 15th, or I'm not paying you.
Ooh.
I kid, of course. Half of them have already delivered work, so I'm paying them anyway. So yeah, I want to get back to riffs. I'm pretty sure there's another Patreon sponsor or two that I have to contact that I haven't gotten a riff for from them, because even a year later, I'm still getting used to the Patreon stuff and like trying new things out. For example, I tried to do ads at the end of videos every month, and I couldn't keep track of who had done what and which month we were on. So I said, okay, screw that, I can't do it anymore. Every 6 months you can get a new ad on there. Same thing for new reviews. It started out with 4 review slots, and then they just kept filling up and emptying out and filling up again. And I want to actually get around to reviewing stuff of my own volition instead of just stuff that other people want me to review. So I limited the slots to 2, and that's been working out pretty well. Although there's such a high demand for it. Everyone's just like, I never get a slot open, even though it tells, because I get an email saying that a slot is open and it's immediately been filled. Well, them's the breaks. And I feel bad about it because I love to review whatever it is you want me to review, but I want to talk about Ultimate Power. So, yeah. Anyway, Easter Gracier.
I noticed ever since Fantastic Four came out, suddenly there's not much Fantastic Four stuff in Marvel.
Really? I didn't know that.
Four stick.
Assuming that the original Fantastic Four can't be Fantastic Four anymore, and you can create your own Fantastic Four team with those small characters, who would you make that?
Oh, well, I always said, well, if it can't speak.
No original member.
None of the original members. Okay, that's my question. Oh, okay. You know what? I'd bring back the weird quartet again. I would bring back, if I recall correctly, it was Spider-Man, Ghost Rider. What? I think was the Hulk in there too?
Yeah.
And the fourth one, I can't remember. Wolverine. Oh gosh. This was this weird thing for, it was like a what-if comic, if I recall correctly. I can't remember what they had based it off of, but it was this weird thing where like they partnered those 4 together, and they were the Fantastic Four for a brief time. I never read it before, but it's such a bizarre concept of like, I want to see where they didn't go with this. Especially in modern times where the writing is much stronger and a lot more realistic, especially in terms of dialogue and characterization and whatnot. So, yeah, that's what I would want to see as the new Fantastic Four.
It was actually a kind of gimmick issue of the Fantastic Four where they were just going, well, Fantastic Four is not really fun, so let's get all our headliners at the time, which was, you know, Spider-Man, Hulk, Wolverine,
and Ghost Rider.
And they were just like, okay, Fantastic Four were supposedly killed by Mole Man, but were actually abducted by the Skrull.
Of course, as you do. And so they got to be the new Fantastic Four.
For 2 issues until they figured out what was going on, and then in the second issue, Punisher guest starred.
Fly by. Punisher is everywhere.
Of course.
Of course.
I love comic books.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Lewis.
Did you?
Yeah.
Please. It's not used, is it? No. Okay, there you go. And again, it's like it's moved from my throat into my nose, so that's always fun. Here's a lovely sound of me blowing my nose.
Oh, that sounds disappointing.
Next question. Easier.
2 questions. Do you think you're going to do the last issue of Aspar this year?
Not this year, 2016. In fact, I think it's either the first episode of 2016 or 1 episode in January. Because there's only 1 issue left. And even though they kept saying, oh, we'll definitely go back to it. Yeah, right.
Did you finally get the issue of it?
I don't have a copy of it yet, but I can order it like 2 weeks beforehand. The only question is, will I get the infamous copy that the censorship didn't go through? Because, of course, for some bizarre reason, Miller wrote up this really, offensive script with lots of swear words and stuff that you can't really put in a ages 14 and up comic. So of course, Miller knew they were going to censor it, of course, so they put black bars over everything. Something went wrong with the printing. So even though they're like, the bars are there, you could see through them.
Oh,
And so a bunch of comics were printed pretty much uncensored until they had to recall them and then send out a new thing. Which you'd think they would have quality checked that to begin with, but what you gotta do? Yeah, it's DC. So I'm hoping to get one of those because either way, it's going to be a fun time with that. The final issue of Aspar, all our questions will finally be answered. No, they won't. It's like another filler issue that focuses on Batgirl or something. Aspar.
Even the acronym shows it.
And Dark Knight 3, that'll be fun. That's a story from the movie that most people know by now. That the news of Dark Knight 3 coming out came out while we were filming the movie. So of course Nash comes in with his phone. Hey Lewis, come here. I'm like, okay, what is it? Dark Knight 3 and I need to punch something. Nash picks up a box, holds it up like.
Oh, you forgot your I am a man.
I did not pull up the Iron Man, but I did punch a hole through that box.
And then he ranted for 10 minutes.
I'm pretty sure the box with the hole in it did not end up in the movie. I think we just turned it around.
And then he ranted about for 10 minutes.
Well, he says I ranted about it for 10 minutes. I think it was more like 5 minutes and the hole punching.
It was 10 minutes.
you're going back.
I think I quoted that. It was like 6 or 7 months ago, so I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I think I did that.
Yep.
They pulled me back in. Like I said earlier, I want to move on to other Frank Miller comics because there's more out there. I want to cover his very first professional comic work, which is not writing but drawing an issue of the Twilight Zone comic for Gold Key.
Terminator versus the RoboCop.
Yeah, I want to get back to RoboCop versus the Terminator. I want to get back to, I also want to get back to Superman versus the Terminator for that matter. A lot of versus comics that I could explore again. I just kind of start things and never stop them. It's kind of a habit of mine.
And not enough against Freddy Krueger.
What was that?
And not enough of them against Freddy Krueger.
And not enough of them against Freddy Krueger. I love the versus, man. I don't know why I love that so much. Freddy versus Aspar.
That would be awesome.
All right, we just did this ad, right?
Yeah.
All right, you the Fred here.
So first, two quick ones. First, favorite Sonic game?
Probably Sonic 2. The Sonic 2 is the one with Casino Night Zone, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Second, are you familiar with the work of one Tony Goldmark, Some Dirt with a Camera?
Might be on the same site.
Let's see. Do I recall something? No, I recall a bad Doc Brown impression that someone's grandmother appeared with. And she was overweight. No, doesn't ring a bell. I'm very familiar with Tony's work. It's hilarious and awesome, and you should all be watching it. The thing is, if you don't know, Some Jerk with a Camera reviews amusement park rides. And you would think, how the hell do you make a video about that? Interesting. And the way he does it is lots of padding. But the padding is hilarious. And and the reason his videos take a little bit of time to come out because he edits them to the max. It's like there's a cut every 3 seconds. He's giving history about the ride and the people involved in it. He's expanded out to reviewing like TV shows. Like he did an entire series about all the TGIF shows going to Disneyland and reviewing them. And it's hilarious. And you point out okay, we need to go this way to Splash Mountain. No, you don't. You go that way because he films them in the parks. No, you don't. Splash Mountain is that way. Okay, well we have to go this way or else miss the parade. If you go that way, you will hit the parade. But yeah, it's hilarious. And I'm sorry. What was your question?
I guess what I wanted to